welcome to another Chew and Chat. I am Justine Dorn, and this is...
Oh, that's my cute. Ron Rayfield.
That's right.
Welcome to Frontier Patriot, guys.
Welcome.
We got another Chew and Chat for you today.
Yes, and what in the world do we have here in this big old casserole dish? We have a chicken noodle casserole. I would call it a casserole from the year 1830. From, I hope I say this right, I'm doing this from memory, the Cook's Dictionary and Housekeeper's Directory, published in 1830. And this is incredibly modern, in my opinion. Now, it's not called a casserole, but looking at it and the fact that it's baked and whatnot, just to put it into modern terms so you guys can understand.
It's a casserole.
It's a casserole. I really, really think it is. And also on the side, I just quickly whipped up some green beans here because we're going to make a full, real meal out of this, and I want to eat healthy. So
yeah. Well, let's dig into this. It smells really good. I've not tried this yet.
Yes.
All right.
And then we have the extra cheese on the side.
Which you know I'm going to use.
Right. There's that crunchy layer on top.
Look at that. That's so delicious.
Yeah, there's that crunchy layer on top from these breadcrumbs, and then there's a layer of macaroni and cheese.
With two different kinds of cheeses.
With two different kinds of cheeses. And then in the center there is a filling made out of chicken. And then on the bottom is another layer of macaroni and cheese. Does that not sound like the most 21st century thing ever?
Well, I haven't even tried it yet and I already love it.
You're going to put more cheese on it?
Well, why not?
Okay. Okay.
Don't worry.
This is a judgment-free zone.
I'll go outside tonight or raise the window.
Oh. This is a judgment-free zone, people.
Hey, before we go any farther, if you want to see us make this, please go to Early American. That is our main channel. Over there, Justine makes all the meals that we eat and review here on Frontier Patriot. Over there, we cook it.
And here we eat it.
And here we eat it. So be sure to go over there for the recipe.
I get myself some green beans. Anyone else here absolutely obsess over green beans like I do? I could eat green beans every single day of my life.
I do love them, but I'm not sure I got room for them right now.
Okay, I'll put them on the side here. And they would have had green beans in this time of the year if you would have stored them in a crock.
Right.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the later equivalent of storing green beans in a mason jar.
Well, let's say the blessing and get down to business here.
This is our business. Food is our business.
It kind of is.
Okay.
It is your turn today, by the way. I did it last time.
Okay. Dear Lord, thank you for the company that we have today. Thank you for the health of everyone watching. Thank you for our own health. Thank you for this food. Let it nourish our bodies. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Justine.
Yes.
All right.
I already tried this, and Ron hasn't. So I'm really curious to see what his reaction is. Dive in there. It's really, really good. Get a bite with both the mac and cheese and the chicken.
Mmm.
It tastes modern. I mean, if I serve this up somewhere, I don't think they'd say, "Wow, this tastes incredibly old-fashioned." They might say, "Okay, this is really, really unique," but I don't think anyone would think that this is a 200-year-old dish.
This is darn good.
It is really good. It has cheese in it though, so naturally.
It's got mushrooms in it. It's got green onions in it. Ham. Chicken, you said chicken.
There's a whole chicken in there.
Two different kinds of cheeses. And then cream and eggs for your sauce.
Yep. And this was a very hard dish to make though.
And a splash of lemon juice, right?
Yeah, you can either use a splash of lemon juice or a splash of vinegar in there. Whatever you want. It said you could do either. And a whole lot of breadcrumbs. Okay, Ron, what would you rate this dish? 1 out of 10.
Sorry, I took a big bite.
He's chewing.
I give this a 10. This is a home run.
Oh, really?
This is excellent.
Well, good.
I love it.
Good, because there's a ridiculous amount here.
Oh, don't worry. I'll eat it.
I'm not worried. It is really good.
So, before you all start saying, well, they didn't have macaroni back then. They did. Macaroni's been around for a long time. Now, the word macaroni, way back then, just meant any kind of pasta. That's kind of what they called it. Like, what's a macaroni?
And they had dried pasta back then, too. Dried macaroni's been around since the 16th century.
Yeah. But macaroni itself and pasta, that originated in China and the Arab countries. Now they were doing two different kinds. It all depends on the kind of wheat that each country grew.
Right.
But by the time we get to close to our time period, or right before, the Spanish explorers were noted to bring pasta to the Americas, but it didn't stick real thick, you know.
It wasn't popular until a certain someone made it popular.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I know what pasta is, but yeah, who cares?
Yeah, who cares? So who was that somebody?
So the one who made it popular in America was our second president, Thomas Jefferson. Whenever he was ambassador to France, he was in Europe and he went road tripping around, if you will, and he discovered macaroni noodles and he loved it. And he brought it back to America, the process of making it. And he actually invented his own macaroni press to press the noodles, to go through it. It gives it a little hole. It would just like, you know, you press it and then they come out the bottom like.
You aren't a true fan of macaroni and cheese unless you make your own macaroni press and have it at your house, like Thomas Jefferson did.
So, in the late 1780s, he returns to America. Macaroni goes crazy. It goes so crazy they actually opened up the first macaroni or pasta, if you will. Pasta factory in Philadelphia in 1798. So that's pretty cool.
Yep. So by 1830, macaroni noodles were really common. I mean, I understand why people might think there's no way. How do they have cheese? Like, how do they have macaroni noodles?
We make it from the milk, man.
Basically, yes. But you know, people wanted good food back then as much as we want it now. And you know what also blows my mind is the fact that you said that noodles were invented in China and the Middle East and not actually in Italy.
Right. Tomatoes are not native to Italy. Pasta is not native to Italy.
Right.
What's Italy known for then?
Italy! What are you doing?
Garlic? Garlic?
I don't know that.
Olives? No?
I don't know.
Get back to us on that if you live in Italy. Not hating, just saying. What'd you guys do before?
Just saying.
Tomatoes and pasta.
Just saying, we're trying to dispel all the food myths that people have ingrained in their head.
Right.
You know, like noodles originally came from China.
I didn't know that.
Now in Italy, they have made certain types of noodles over the years that were definitely invented in Italy. But the kind of noodles that they would have had in the 18th century, like this kind of noodle, I don't know. Was that kind of noodle invented in Italy?
I don't know.
Anyone out there know?
Now I know other countries had their kind of, like you said, their kind of version of a noodle. Like Spätzle, that's similar to a noodle.
Yeah.
Or it's a cousin, I guess I should say.
Yeah. Every country has their own version of a noodle.
So there's Spätzle in Europe, you know, way back in the early days before they had this. So you could say that they kind of had their form of pasta.
Here in St. Genevieve, we're known for liver and dumplings.
Liver dumplings.
Okay, liver dumplings.
And it's a form of Spätzle.
And then here also in America in general, we have chicken and dumplings. Which is, there's no dumplings in it really, like how you think. It's just sheets of pasta that they throw in there with a chicken and a white thick sauce. So every country has their own thing going on. This is very, very good.
Yes, it is. Good job.
Thank you. Though this probably would not have been made by just a poor person.
No.
The middling class, maybe. The middling class is what I would refer to as modern day middle class, maybe. There was a middle class back then. You know, it wasn't just you're really, really poor and then you're really, really rich and there's no in between.
Right.
What about merchants and doctors and
they're your middle class.
Architects and dentists? I mean, those people weren't very, very poor, but at the same time they weren't very, very rich either. So they probably could have afforded a meal like this.
Or, now this is the third macaroni dish we've done.
Oh yeah.
We have 2 other macaroni dishes we did back last summer.
And it's not hard to find macaroni dishes in historical cookbooks.
Right.
At all.
So, I would say the first macaroni dish that we made last year, it was just the macaroni with cheese. Now a poor person or, you know, low-income family would be making that.
No, probably not.
Really?
Yeah, they probably wouldn't.
As basic as that was, you don't think they would?
No, because this is fashionable food.
Okay.
So because this is so fashionable, I don't think that a poor person would have been making it. Because they would have had no idea probably what it was. But if you were of the middling class, or upper class, of course, you would have heard about this dish without a doubt. I mean, it's actually hard for me to look through a historical cookbook from 1790 to 1830 and not find at least one macaroni dish in the cookbook. That's how common it was. But your very, very, very poor person would not have been cooking from these cookbooks.
Well, that made me think of something. You said this should pass for something modern.
I think
you
so.
You can make this with leftovers if you had to.
Yeah, you have leftover chicken?
Yeah, leftover chicken. So today, this would be what you would call poor people food. To make a casserole, you could use leftovers. Macaroni noodles today are dirt cheap. Any kind of noodle is dirt cheap.
Chicken's one of the cheaper meats today.
Yeah, I think it is like that and pork are about the two cheapest.
Right, beef is the most expensive, but chicken and pork are kind of on the cheaper end.
But as far as today go, there's nothing expensive in this.
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
So, if you're looking for like a one pot kind of meal thing, this right here.
Oh, how times have changed. Well, Ron.
I'm gonna try some of the green beans real quick.
Oh yeah. Tell us about something that happened today, many, many years ago, Ron.
Okay, so this week in history is really short. I looked and looked and looked, and sure, there's some random guy's birthday and some Senate passed some bill, but it's not worth mentioning. So.
But there is something that happened.
So the only interesting thing that I could... Hey there, and he's going.
Mish just jumped through
like
the window.
Like a flash! So the only interesting thing that's worth mentioning today is the anniversary of the Boston Massacre, which happened on March 5th in 1770. Now you might say, why did that happen? Well, there's a lot of things leading up to that caused that to happen.
What was it originally called?
The original name of the Boston Massacre was the Whig Riot.
The Whig Riot, like a wig on your head?
Say that 5 times fast. Whig Riot, Whig Riot.
Oh, just hearing that is hurting my head. So,
Whig Riot, Whig Riot, Whig Riot. I can't do it.
So there's a clue in the name. There's a clue in the name. Why did it start? Was there seriously a massacre over wigs? It was a little bit more complicated than that.
That's what set it off. Now, forgive me, I don't remember the names off the top of my head, so I will improvise.
I wasn't there personally.
Me neither.
I only heard it
from
a friend of a friend.
I wasn't born until '88, so that's before my time.
I was born in the 90s.
1790s?
The 1790s.
1790s, yeah, I remember them years.
Right. Okay, Ron.
Alright, so there's this guy on the street. He's an apprentice of a wig maker. He sees this other dude who is an officer, a redcoat officer, and he's wearing a wig. And he says, "Hey, you owe my master, money for dressing your wig." Because back then, if you didn't have hair to get styled, you'd get your wig styled.
So this redcoat guy just got his wig styled. He said, "I owe you," and then he walked out, and he never paid the wig maker.
And then a few days later, he seen him on the street and called him out. Well, the redcoat did not like this, so they got into a little scuffle and started, hitting each other. And then before you know it, some people start gathering around like, "What's going on? What's all this commotion?"
Fight, fight, fight!
Basically, it's Boston, so people up there are just crazy. So that's probably exactly what they were saying. Fight, fight, fight!
People up in Boston are crazy?
They're New Englanders. Yeah, they're crazy.
Anyone out there from Boston, can you confirm, are you in fact crazy?
In a good way.
Yeah.
They're rambunctious.
They have energy. They have spirit. They won't just sit down and take it. Okay, so this crowd is forming watching this fight.
Before you know it, you get about 50 people watching this fight. So they're like, "Fight, fight! Come on, get him!" Then the next thing you know, the bell rings. They're ringing the fire bell. When you ring the fire bell, everybody comes running because
fire! Right.
That gets everybody to the streets like, "What's going on? Get a bucket, get some water."
Yeah, so someone rang it just to get attention. Someone rang it basically to say, "Hey, there's a fight, come watch it." But it was the fire bell, so everyone came running thinking there was a fire.
Right. So then the crowd grows to like 200 people. So now it's getting pretty big. And then so a whole attachment of redcoats come in. I think about 8 of them come for backup. And the crowd just keeps getting bigger, and then they're taunting them and throwing snowballs and ice.
Making fun of the redcoats.
Now let me pause right here. You might say, well, why are they egging them on so bad? 2 weeks prior to this, Christopher Sider, an 11-year-old boy, was killed during a protest riot, and he was shot by a customs officer. So tensions were really high.
Yeah, against the British.
Yes.
They were really, really high.
And even before that, they were already high because they were here quartering themselves in the city. They have just enforced over the last few years the Sugar Act, the Currency Act, the Stamp Act, the Townshends Act.
Even gambling dice was taxed. Everything was being taxed by the British, so people were not happy.
We were not being represented with that taxation, so we had no say in what it was, and the tax did not benefit us. It only benefited the mother country, if you will, England. And they did not see us as Englishmen. We were colonists, so we had no right to that or any say of that. So that's why tensions were so high, and people were protesting and rioting against them. The redcoats were not welcome here. So go back to the night of March 5th, 1770. One of the officers gets knocked down. And when he gets up, he says, "Fire, damn you, fire!" And the men fire. So unfortunately, 5 colonists died that night. And by the time the trial rolls around in the late fall and early winter of the same year, which is crazy that it took that long, all the men are acquitted except for 2 men. And the 2 men that were charged, they were charged with manslaughter instead of murder. It was Private Montgomery and Private Kilroy. The funny thing is, Private Kilroy, before the Boston Massacre, had a record of getting into fights and stealing. So he was already, a bad apple.
He had a bad reputation. He was a thug, basically. He liked pushing people around. His name was literally
Kilroy.
Kilroy? Who's Roy?
A name like
Whoever
that.
he is, he wants to kill him.
But I still think they got off too easy. All they got was an M branded on their hand.
For murderer and manslaughter.
So anytime they shake somebody's hand or take an oath, you would see it on their hand. But I think they should have been punished more than that.
Yeah, they didn't get actual jail time. They just got branded on their hand.
Yeah. Were they doing their job? Yes. Did we want them there? No. So it's a sticky situation. And so since them 2 were the ones who initially yelled fire and got people to fire, they were the ones that got in trouble. And the other men, they were just,
following orders.
Right. But the captain that was there, he never gave the order to fire. It was that private guy.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's what happened with that. And I probably should have mentioned this last week on that This Week in History, because Christopher Snyder, he died on February 22nd. And his death is important because they consider him to be the first death of the American Revolution. For the cause.
Oh yeah, because he died for the ultimate bigger picture cause.
Yeah.
Right, because, so Ron said it really briefly, the Quartering Act?
Yeah.
The Quartering Act.
Now,
imagine if this was applicable today. How would you feel about this? So what was that?
You had to let them into your home.
Yeah, imagine that, guys. Imagine if in 2023 someone knocked on your door and it was a whole bunch of soldiers from another country.
Yeah, from another country.
From another country, and they said, "Hey, you're gonna let me stay in your house. You're gonna give me food. You're gonna give me a hot bath, anything, every little luxury. Heck, if you have clothes, I'll take it too. In exchange for absolutely nothing." No, would you just sit down and take that? Well, you had to. By law, you had to take that.
That's why that's up there.
Yeah, that flag.
No, that.
Oh, that? Well, good luck. If you did that, they would probably kill you.
We did do that.
Well, yeah, eventually.
A lot of people did die, unfortunately.
Right.
But we did do that. And
yeah, eventually we fought back.
And now we're the United States of America.
That's right. We are now independent.
That's right. Well, that's all I got for This Week in History. Now, there was one other thing. In 1876, Alexander Graham Bell patented the telephone. But turns out he did not invent the telephone. Turns out in 1849, some Italian dude invented the first
There you
telephone.
go, Ron. Italians. We were just saying, what if Italians done if they didn't invent tomatoes and like the macaroni noodles or whatever? Okay, they invented the telephone. That's actually very, very, very important.
It is important.
Yes, thank you, Italy. And I will also say I am absolutely obsessed with anything to do with ancient Roman history. So I actually really, really love Italy.
Yeah,
and the Renaissance and everything, it's absolutely incredible.
And I love Italian food for what we know.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's just so interesting to find out in modern times the real history of these foods and the stereotypes that we have. We think, oh yeah, you know, hamburgers were invented in America and the Italians have, you know, tomato sauce and all that. But in reality, it's a lot more complicated than that.
The cool one we did was fried chicken. They come from Scotland.
Yeah, fried chicken is thought to have originated in Scotland.
Had nothing to do with the South. It was...
I know! Ever since I was a kid, I was told that fried chicken was invented in the South. Now I found out that that's impossible because they have records of fried chicken going back so long ago in Scotland.
In the Highlands.
In the Highlands. I mean, way before the American South even was the American South.
Right.
So yeah, it was definitely invented in Scotland. But the fried chicken we know today with the secret spices and all that.
KFC.
Like, yeah, the spice blends, you know, the spice blends are southern. But the whole concept of just frying a chicken or chicken leg, that is not American.
You know, speaking of chicken, and you all have seen our show last week where we talked about we got attacked by Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, we have a very aggressive rooster.
I will say, he sure tastes real good.
Run! He's kidding.
Yeah.
We have not butchered him.
Only because he's been nice. I think he's been whopped in the head enough that he knows better.
Right. Okay, so what happened with that is we have a very, very aggressive rooster. And we talked about it last time in the last Chew and Chat. He will attack anybody.
Oh, yeah.
Man, woman, child, it don't matter. He will attack anybody. And he will, like, draw blood. And he attacks us almost every single day. So because of that, we had to walk around with a stick, literally just to protect ourselves and push him away from us. So we would be minding our own business, and then he would just... Basically, yeah, he would just jump on us and attack us, so we would have this stick, and we would be like, ah! Ah! And eventually
exactly like that, I heard it.
And eventually he would run away. But, you know, now when he sees us walking around with a stick, he don't come for us no more.
I really like this.
Wow, I'm really glad you've eaten almost half of this thing.
No.
Look at this.
You took some of that too.
Oh, I just took a little bit. It's very filling though.
Okay.
So I'm not really gonna have too much.
This is Parmesan cheese. They did have Parmesan cheese back then.
Yeah, it actually transports very, very well.
Why can't I speak? Parmesan cheese has been around since they came to America. And it's been around in Europe and other places since the beginning of time. It's like one of the oldest cheeses.
You know what? I bet you that Parmesan cheese was invented in Italy.
Now, I will say I like that Gruyere.
Yeah, that's good too.
Better by itself, but on this, I like the Parmesan.
Okay.
But by itself, I don't like the Parmesan.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Parmesan cheese ships very, very well. So you could have made it in another country and shipped it by boat without any problem whatsoever. Same with all hard cheeses.
The showered cheese on there.
That does look really good.
Looks like fresh snow. You know, it should be snowing right now. It's March. It's March.
Snow.
It's the first week of March.
We have a
and
window
it's
open.
75 degrees out. Now, I'm not complaining. That's cool. It feels nice, but...
There are flowers budding outside. There's leaves on the shrubs. And there's even a flower on my plum tree. There's one lone flower on my plum tree. Yep. So this has been a very abnormally warm winter. I
don't ever remember being this warm in March.
Or
February. February was just a few days ago when we had 75 degrees a couple times.
It's the same. In my entire life since I moved to America, I have never experienced a winter this hot.
Right. Usually March, it's like still doubling down from February of ice and blowing cold and everything.
Right. Yeah, that does look good now you put cheese on it. I kind of just want cheese.
You want cheese?
Yeah.
There you go.
The bottom. This one.
That's good cheese.
Yeah, let me get a knife though.
Okay.
Instead of just sitting there and taking a big old bite out of it.
I really appreciate all appreciate y'all joining us today.
Yes,
and all the
thank
other times.
you. Yes.
I think we've got over 61,000 followers here on Frontier Patriot and over 925,000 on Early American.
Right, thank you.
We gotta start practicing that dancing here soon.
Okay, so we said when we reach 1 million subscribers that we're gonna do a thank you dance video, and we found an 18th century dance.
Yeah, the Alamande.
And we're gonna recreate it step by step as it was.
Attempt.
Almost 300 years ago, that one. That one is, I think, is from the early 18th century.
Yes,
but it was popular for a long time.
Right. So if we only get like 30 seconds of it down pat and we're standing there awkwardly, I'm just gonna start busting a move and just wing it.
Okay, you heard it here first, y'all. Yeah, so once I reach 1 million subscribers, we're gonna put out that video.
Yeah.
So brace yourself.
Don't forget the St. Genevieve Militia Encampment is coming up here in about 2 weeks at the end of March.
Yes.
And after that, we got the big Pioneer Days. I know we keep, saying it every week, but it's a big event and we want it to be bigger. So.
And I want to meet you.
So come on down to St. Genevieve for Pioneer Days at the beginning of May.
And the event is free.
That's a free event.
Right, it is a free event.
Yeah.
So come on down to St. Genevieve. It's as good a day as any to look at the town. I mean, all the house museums should be open.
Yes.
Yeah, so you might as well just come down. You can tour the old houses, go to the Center for French Colonial Life. You can get a ticket there for the tour. And if you do go, say that we sent you, because we actually work there part-time.
Yeah.
So that would be really nice with the boss if you could tell him that.
You guys would get to meet Mr. Jeff.
Yeah, who's the boss? The boss is Mr. Jeff.
Yeah.
He's our, our landlord in the drama videos. That's actually our boss.
We need to do one of them soon,
We do.
I know you guys want it.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the deal. We need all of you to pick about 10 of your friends to watch it.
Yes, because the drama videos don't really get many views.
Unfortunately, they don't even get half of what the food ones do, unfortunately. Right. They are super fun to do.
We have so much fun with it.
And we want to share it with everybody, so if you can help us out and get some buddies to watch it, hey, check out this cool little...
Because here's the thing about the drama videos, we actually lose money every time we make one of those. Right. We've never made profit off of a drama video. We need the cooking videos to make money so that we can fund the drama videos at the end of the day. So that's why sometimes we don't put them out that frequently.
I'd love to do one each week, but it costs more money to do those videos than it does this.
Yeah, the clothes for extras and
driving to all these different places. We go to all kinds of cool places to do
these.
Right. But hopefully soon we'll, at least while we got this good weather.
Oh yeah, we have ideas.
But it'll probably turn icy cold when we finally pull the trigger to do it and be like, damn!
You know how sick and twisted Mother Nature is? It was a really, really warm winter. As soon as spring hits, it's probably going to be cold, it's going to be nasty, muddy.
Or it might be 100 degrees already.
I don't know.
Summer might be hell to pay, who knows?
It might be, who knows. Last summer was really brutal.
Oh yeah, it was hot in here. It was over 100 degrees in here. It was dangerous.
We actually put a thermostat once just for fun, just to see how hot it was, right by the hearth, like on the stone ledge over there. 120 degrees.
And the fire wasn't even roaring. It was kind of at the end of the day.
Right, 120 degrees. So if you see me sweating in the summer videos, it's 120 degrees.
That's why we were eating outside, really.
Yeah, there were some times where we did have to eat outside.
We just couldn't do it in here. It was miserable.
Right. And if anyone asks me how in the world are you able to do that, there's only 2 reasons. The first reason is I was born with a very good heat tolerance.
Oh yeah.
The second reason is because I'm young.
I don't have good heat tolerance.
Those are the only 2 reasons. If I was older, I couldn't do it. I don't think I could. But I mean, I don't know. I'll find out when I'm older. I just have a hard time picturing myself being 75 years old and sitting in front of a 120-degree fire for 8 hours. But hey, who knows?
I'll fan you.
Thank you, Ron. I do appreciate that.
And we got one update. We finally got the road about 90% of the way done on our property.
Yes.
So now we're able to, almost able to get some excavating equipment in there and start digging.
Yeah, we have to dig a cellar out.
So
that's been holding up the entire project is the road.
Yep.
So we had to have gravel delivered.
It's just been so wet and people have been busy, and finally the planets aligned, and last week we were able to get 9 loads of gravel, and because it's a pretty long driveway.
It is a very, very long driveway, so we cannot get any kind of heavy truck through, like the guy who's gonna dig our well for us, you know, that's gonna be a truck.
Those are big trucks.
Yeah, they're very big trucks.
They can't drive in the mud.
Right, right. So in order to get started really on anything to do with building the house, we have to have the road, and it's a gravel road. It has to be, because if it's just mud, they'll refuse to come out there because they'll get stuck.
Right.
I mean, their trucks weigh, I don't even know, like 30,000 pounds?
More than that.
Really?
The dump truck weighed 54,000 pounds.
Wow, okay. That's a very heavy horse. And so it'll get stuck in the mud, so they won't even come out unless you have a gravel road, because they'll get stuck. So the road has been holding out the whole thing, but we have it, finally, we have gravel up to the pasture, up to the opening. We just need, I think, 2 or 3 more loads of gravel to take us to the actual home site, which is dead center in the middle of that pasture field. And then we can finally start calling in those big trucks, and then we're gonna start building the rest.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna do the actual, like, building with the nails and the wood and the nails and the wood, you know, that stuff. But there's some things that we just can't do safely. I'm not going to dig a well by myself and end up having contaminated water, for example.
Right.
You know, because at the end of the day, we're actually living there too. It's not just for videos, so we don't want to do anything really stupid.
Yeah, I think long term.
Right, long term, right. But when it comes to the actual building of it, we're going to do that 100% ourselves with the help of some family, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to hop off here. I'm feeling pretty stuffed.
Right. You saw how much cream and eggs and cheese and chicken and carbs from the noodles that it's in this thing. I mean, I'm sorry we can't eat all of it. It's a very nutrient-dense dish. It's just very, very heavy and very filling. But we will save it, and we will finish it sometime within the next day or two, because it's really good.
It's very good.
It is very good. Very palatable from 2023. And 1830.
Yeah, so please try this one.
Yes, please do.
Yep.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next episode of Frontier Patriot and next time on Early American. So thank you all so much, and you take care. We love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.